All right, everyone, we're going to go through this morning real quick on the XRock. And so what we got on the chart here is a small gap up, and then the market made a move up. Let me scroll back here. There we go. All right, so here we go. We had a small gap up, and it might be faint on here, but let me see if I can get a pin. But we have some sell gaps. We had buy gaps here. We had another sell gap. We had a main sell gap up here at the top. And we had a previous high up here. We had that main sell gap that's still holding. And we had a sell gap here, we had a sell gap here, we had two buy gaps layered on top of each other there from yesterday. So coming into the open, basically we were looking at the market moving up into the 750 area to those highs, and then retesting the lows from the trap traders that were in from yesterday afternoon, so over here. And so we had it open and it started printing bars going up. Could you take this trade? Yes, you could, but you have to realize that the market on the open is usually rushes towards some type of OHLC. We had an open here, a previous open, so it could have easily turned down there. The first couple bars print really fast. Might not be the easiest to get into. In this situation, you would have it would have played out. We did get a double doji setup right here, but this is a little high. You don't want it in a 15 bar run and then have a double doji trying to go for more bars. I mean, it did go a couple more bars and then a pullback, and then we got our first trend entry right here. This would have been the easiest probable trade coming off of the highway here. And actually, whenever it gets around these double dojis, it will bounce. It'll kind of go through and bounce, and usually will bounce off of it if it's in a trend. So that ran out quite a few bars. You could have taken it all the way to the high there. We got a double doji at the high. Again, after so many bars, you don't want to take those double dojis from that point. But it is a good setup when it happens. And the market did pop a couple more bars up to the top here, and then reversed itself down. And so this is a good place up here. We have some divergence on our oscillator. It is a bit more risky up here, taking a trade right here. A better spot to take a trade is when it pulls back. So it's gonna try to get a pullback, and it didn't quite get a pullback. We get another double doji here, and maybe you would have maybe you take something here, but quite frankly, it would have been best to be holding right here. Those double dojis were right in the middle. It's going to move down to this previous open here, and we get a small bounce here at the previous open. This is, I believe, yesterday's open. So again, we're in a trading range. So we come up and we're looking. It's making that next leg up here. And I'm not sure, you wouldn't be looking to take the cross here. Maybe so. Maybe you're taking every turn. The problem is when the market just makes quick turns, you can get chopped up. So usually you want to stick to the system. And so now we're above our XRock here. XRock is this rate of change, this dash line here. And so now our convergence divergence is above that. We do have some divergence here to sell, but it's most likely going to be short-lived because, again, we're above the XRock, so we got some more buying than selling. And then we get our next push up, and again, this could be short-lived as well. Probably will only go up 5-6 bars, and it only went 2, and then it finally made that second leg up, and hopefully you would have got out on that. And then this would be a good spot here, possibly to look for a sell, and I probably would like to see it pop up a little higher, off of this, to fail going off of this highway at least once here. So if it pops up, there we go. And then now if we get a turn back down, I think we could see something play out here. So and this would be a good spot here to go back down. Again, it's those double doji area. We're failing to make higher highs here. We clipped it, so that would be what is called a bull trap, and then it turned back down. So you'd probably wait for the next bar to print as a sell bar, because this is kind of more of a doji as well, but you could get in on that one, and there would be more of your entry bar, and that one paid off pretty well. Back down to the open again. Could you take this trade here? Again, I wouldn't be looking for that, but I would be looking to sell off of the highway here once it comes back. So if it pops up a couple bars to the highway, and as soon as it turns back down from the highway there, here we got our first sell bar, got our doji, our sell bar. Take that for a few bars. It might go through, but we got a span right here, so it's going to stall on that most likely. You get a few bars back to the bottom, and now we're getting a divergence order here. And again, I'd be really hesitant to be pushing through these the highway here, but I would look for that high to be touched again. So this high right here, looking for that is to be hit again up here in this zone. So that would be something to look for. But we had order flow divergence, we got convergence, divergence indicators showing that as well. There is a bit of X-Rock divergence too, which is a little longer term, and see, we got the double doji there, and again, this I would be hesitant. This is usually a pretty good setup to take a buy right here, but I would be pretty hesitant because of like I said, the market went up, and now it's got to go let out those trapped traders. So we would still be looking for the sell bar. We do have sell context now. Our X-Rock is below the 50 here, so that means that we had significant amount of selling back here to bring it under, and now it's pulled itself back under, and it's kind of keeps going a little deeper. So this should be pulling back and turning back down here, and there we got it right there. It turned around, and you could have entered on that secondary bar there, or this third bar. We'd be looking for the span for sure, and then possibly to run it to the yellow span, and maybe even all the way to the bottom. So I don't remember what exactly happened there. And there it went right through. You could see that it put a tail on that bar right at that span. Okay, so it's going to go to the open there. It might actually go through and fill the gap for the morning, which is down here. There's yesterday's close. And wow, that one would have been a really good run right there. If you had a trailing stop there, you would have had a crusher day. We have some divergence here down at the bottom. The gap was filled. This is a good spot to possibly go long here. Again, you could take it on that first bar reversal, or wait for the second bar to print up, and then that would be a long trade just for probably back to the highway, to the span, to the open there. And it didn't quite make it, so it only went 3 bars and then reversed and turned back down, and then you got a second leg up. So if you weren't out or didn't take a break even, possibly you could have re-entered for the second leg up. And this is what I was talking about for reversals earlier. Whenever it comes over the top of the X rock, pulls back, and then bounces off of the X rock to go up. So this secondary trade would be more in line. This is a divergence trade here. It made one leg and it was too short. You might have made a couple of ticks on that, maybe not. But that second trade would have been a good winner. So, or if you were holding, your stop would have been down here. You would have had an entry there, went up, came back, and then it went to profit target. So again, we're coming back to the span and the open, and so we had the initial break here of bar 1, we call it. And so we'd actually be looking for this to finish off down near the 43, 350. I think 320 is a measured move, but I know we had 43. Was it the trap traders down there at like 4 something, I think, if I wasn't not mistaken. I posted it in the chat. It came back up, touched the underneath there of those bars. This 1, 2, third leg up here. So this starts to be a good area to look for possible sells again. I wouldn't be selling right here. I'd probably wait until it came down underneath here, and then at this point here where we're back underneath the X rock, as you see, we pulled through, and now we're going to bounce off of it likely and head down. We also have to remember that there is a buy gap right here, and that's where this trade would have happened off of, is that buy gap. There's a green box here, and so that box is still there and going forward here, so we would be looking to cover our trade here or sweep it off. So looking for that to turn right here, and there we finally get the doji, and there's our entry bar there. And then we got a double doji. This would be a good spot right here. If you were in a trade from here, you get a double doji and then an entry bar here. This is where you would actually add on to your position. So you would be up, 3 or 4 bars, and then you would add on to your position. And we would finish here at the close or our gap, our buy gap. We don't want to think that it's going to go through. I believe it popped right through and went to those trap traders down below this morning, and it printed a sell gap over the top of it here in the next 4 minutes or so. But that would have been a good runner. Maybe if you were trailing your stop, I would have pulled it off right there. We're down here. We do have some divergence here, but we're underneath the buy gap, so you'd want to be careful. And then we're at 7 o'clock, and that's when I ended this morning and was finished. So hope that helps with this morning for the first hour open.